Hello, welcome friends. In this session, today we will learn that what is index in SQL and how it is used and what are the benefits of indexing and what are the disadvantages of the indexing. So let's start. First of all, what is index? An index is an on-disk structure created with a table or view with that speeds retrieval of rows from the table or view. We applied the index on a particular table or a view to speed up our query to get the result from the database. So we can say that an index is a pointer to a data in a table. It points to a particular data. An index in a database is very similar to an index in the back of a book. Suppose in our textbooks we have an index at the front. Suppose we want to open that particular chapter, so first what we do, we search the particular page number in the index and then directly go through on the particular page. But suppose if you don't have any index in your textbook, then you will go one by one pages, so it will take some time, it will take more time, which is decrease the performance. So same indexes are in the database. These improve our query and we can easily retrieve the data from the database without scanning each row in a table. So it contains information that allows you to find specific data without scanning through the entire table. It points directly onto the particular index that where our record is there. An index must be created on a column which will be used in a where clause. Suppose our query is like select star from table, select star from TBL user, where user ID equal to this. So if we will apply the index on the user ID field in the table, so it will directly point out that particular row where the user ID is suppose 123. So now, Server 2012 provides indexing. Below the version of 12 will not provide the indexing feature. There are two types of indexing in the SQL, basically, which are clustered index and non-clustered index. So first we will see that what is clustered index. Clustered index does not necessarily uniquely identify the row in an SQL table. Means if you will insert your record without ordering, then you will search your record using indexing, then it will return within sorting order. Every table can have exactly one clustered index. You can't create more than one index if you are creating the clustered index. Behind that there is a reason. Suppose there are two columns which is ID and name. Now you want to search your record by ID and also by name within ascending order, but it is cluster index always stored physically. So if you will go through the particular index, then it will short only one order, which is ID, otherwise name. So no need to create more indexes on a single table. Now open your database. So we will see an example over there. SQL Server Management Studio over here. Cluster index by default, if you are creating a table and containing one primary key and you are not defining any index, so by default that primary key column will be generated with the index. So we will see that example that how it will work. After creating the table, you can check it by execute sp help index, which is the inbuilt stored procedure help index, and your table name. So it will show all the details related to the index, that which index has been created and on which column it has been created. You can create a clustered index that covers more than one column. Means we can also create the index more than one columns in SQL too, and data will be in ordered form. Let's see an example over here. Suppose I have this database and here I will create one table. Suppose this is the table I am deleting here, and I will create another table over here. Now I will write down the query to create the table. Create table TBL employee, and I have the fields like ID, big integer, and I will declare as a primary key, then employee name, bracket, next, and suppose subject, varchar, and next. Now if here you are not declaring any index, let's press F5 to execute this query. So my table has been created. I will refresh the tables, then I will find the table which is TBL employee. Now if you want to check that particular, we already discussed that by default if you will not define any index, then the default index will be created onto the primary key column. So when you will execute sp index and your table name is TBL employee, now you will execute this command, then it will return all the detail of your cluster of your index. Here index name created pk underscore tbl employee, and index description like clustered unique primary key located on primary key, and index on particular column which is id. So this is the clustered index which defined, and you can also define. Now suppose the index has been created over here. Now the syntax to create an index is that create index, create clustered index, and your index name like ix underscore clx, and on id I will create on table name which is tbl employee, and my column like, yeah, it will show me that cannot create more than one clustered index on a table, because we have already created that, we have already seen the by default index has been created. So it is showing that first drop the existing your index, then you can create. So it is confirmed that we can create only one clustered index on a column, because it's stored physically. Now we will see non-clustered index, and always keep in mind we always define the indexes on the large amount of data table, because in the small data table we can't see the difference, but if you will have the large data, then you will see the performance, that how the performance is executing and how the result is generating. Suppose here we are inserting the 2-3 rows, insert into tbl employee, and id comma name comma subject and values. We are inserting the id over here also, because I will show you one thing for that. id, like suppose if we are not defining the order, 2 comma my name is like taste subject abc, and I will execute this query. Again I will insert the record 1 taste 123 123 abc, execute. I'm not defining the order over here, I'm just randomly creating the record, and we will check that how the clustered index give the data in the sorting form. Now if you will try to select star from tbl employee, then you will see that your record like 1 to 6, because we have defined the index over here, so it will sort the data. Now we will see non-clustered index. Non-clustered indexes are like simple indexes. They are just used for fast retrieval of data, not sure to have unique data. if you will insert the duplicate data, then if you will define the non-clustered, then it is not compulsory that it will generate, it will retrieve only unique data. That's not sure. Non-clustered indexes are stored separately, means the data will be at one place and the index will be at another place. Can create multiple non-clustered index on a single table, which I will explain you that how we can create multiple indexes. The logical order of the index does not match the physical storage order of the row on disk, because these both are separate. That's why the reason that this has pointers to a storage location of the data. For this reason, a table has more than one non-clustered index. We can create more than one non-clustered index. Suppose, for example, in a book, there is a separate index at starting to point chapter location, and this is, we can say, it's a clustered index. But in the end, there is another index pointing the location of the common word. As you all see in your textbooks that some summarized points will be at the end of the book with the index. So this, we can say that this is non-clustered index. The disadvantage of non-clustered index is that it is slightly slower than a clustered index, and they can take up quite a bit of space on the disk. Now we will see the syntax of the non-clustered index, that how we can create the non-clustered index on a table. It is same like clustered index. Create non-clustered index, non-clustered index, and your index name in underscore, index ix underscore non-clustered index on name, on table name tbl employee, and your column like id comma. When you will execute this, then it has been created. Now I want to suppose create another index 1 2 3, then it will be created. So it has created, not showed any not show any error to you. Now again you will get the information like execute sp underscore help index. IntelliSense is there. You can also use so many inbuilt stored procedure which will show the details and information of particular table stored procedure function you can get. I will provide the full video on this topic, that how you can get the inbuilt information of your database related to a particular table, maybe a stored procedure function, any views, anything else. So which I will show you later. Execute and your table name tbl employee. Now if you will execute, then it will show that 3 indexes has been created. 2 are the non-clustered and 1 is clustered index. So we can say that multiple non-clustered index can be created. Now we will see that differences between clustered and non-clustered index. Only one clustered index per table, means we already shown that only one clustered index can created on a particular table, whereas we can create more than one non-clustered index on the same table. Now clustered index is faster than a non-clustered index, because the non-clustered index has to refer back to the table if the selected column is not present in the table. So it will take the time to search that record, which will be decrease the performance. A clustered index determines the storage order of rows in the table and hence don't require additional disk space. But in non-clustered index is stored separately from a table, which additional storage space is required. So these are the main differences between clustered and non-clustered index. This topic is very important, which always ask in your interview question, when the interview asks for to the database question. So this is the common for all. And now we will see that advantage, there are lots of advantages of index, but there are some disadvantages also available. First we will see that what are the benefits of indexing in database. It improves the performance of the query. If you will apply the indexing on your large data tables, so you will get the difference automatically related to performance. they can be used for sorting. As we see that we didn't insert the record by in a proper order, but we get the result in a ordering form. An index is the best tool for the database to use to enforce uniqueness in data of a column. If you are using the clustered index, then you will get the unique data definitely. It reduced IO. Input output operation will be reduced when you will using indexing. Fast data access, which we discussed, and prevent duplication. Primary key, if we primary key are always unique, and that must be unique. So these are because of the clustered index. Now the disadvantages are there, which also asked in your interview, that there are disadvantages of the indexes. Now indexes take additional disk space, which is the main disadvantage of your indexing. They decrease performance on insert, update, and deletes. Indexes are much better perform on your data retrieval, but if you are performing insert, update, delete command, then it decrease your performance. Indexes slow down insert, update, delete, but will speed up update if the where condition has an indexed field. If you are using the where clause in your updated query using the particular column which has the index, so it will be fast, otherwise it will slow down your result. Insert, update, delete becomes slower because on each operation the index must also be updated, so it will update the indexes sequentially, which will consume your time. So this is all about indexing. We know that how many types of index and how they differentiate to each other. Now how we will see that how to drop the index. So there is a simple command, drop index and your index name. Suppose my index name is this, I want to drop this. Drop index and your index name, drop index and your table name, tbl employee dot index name. So it will dropped. Now you will get the information, then it will show only 2 indexes over there. So thank you for watching, guys. If you have any query or any other confusion, then you can comment me. I will try to resolve your all doubts. Thanks for watching, and I will also provide this link in my description box so you can get and check the details of related to this blog.